Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Owen Leroy for HAMOC, the Haitian American Museum of Chicago. This afternoon we have not a gentleman who is not a guest because he has been here before. He had entertained many of you by his humor and sense of life, the way of life, and he was very kind to come back and wish you, just like I'm wishing you right now, a very happy new year to all of you. Good evening, Carl. How do you do?
Good evening, Mr. Owen. Nice to be here again, and I'd like to extend Happy New Year to our viewers today. I hope it's a prosperous New Year for you, and you get all you want, business-wise. Everything works out for you this year.
Carl, you are here this afternoon to talk about many things. We will do a melting pot. We're not going to talk about the activities of the museum. One subject which is very important is that, as you know, next week will be the 10th anniversary, or to say that we will be commemorating the 10th anniversary of the earthquake that devastated Haiti.
Yes.
My nation, since I am from Haiti, and I know that a lot of people, would like to know about how's the country is right now. But unfortunately, instead of talking about commemorating Haiti, we may need to talk about the new earthquake that hit the Caribbean, the same area, yesterday. Now, while everybody was talking about the activities in Washington and the Middle East, they kind of left that news story and the news about the earthquake that hit Puerto Rico, which is part of the States, and also that hit the Caribbean. Do you know more about that yourself?
Well, I know one Puerto Rican got killed in the earthquake, which the epicenter was near the southern coast of Puerto Rico. And so far they've lost a lot of electricity, and streets are, blocked. And it's been difficult for Puerto Ricans, this being so close to the other Hurricane Maria, who hit them was it last year?
Yes.
And so luckily for us, though, the president has declared a state of emergency, and FEMA is on the ball, and hopefully it'll be a short-lived distress.
Yes, let's hope so. And as you know, besides the situation in Puerto Rico, we have something very interesting coming up in the land of Belize, since you are from Belize and you are part of the Belizean community. Tell me, are you aware of that this year we may have a new set of elections in Belize?
Yes.
And will the city, the people of Belize who are from Chicago, the diaspora, will they be participating in the elections as well?
Well, if they're registered voters, they can go to Belize in November. November 1st is actually the date of the new election. It's a general election, and we're going to be electing members of the House of Representatives. If you're registered, try to get registered, and so you qualify, and then you get on the plane and go to Belize. It's a very crucial, very pivotal election, because we've had the President Prime Minister Dean Oliver Barrow, who's been there for 3 terms, and that's the final. That's the limit there. So we will have a new Prime Minister, and we have the People's United Party, who are vying for seats. If they get a majority of the seats in the House.
Well, you said the people of what's the party name again?
People's United Party is the opposition party, and they think that this is their time. So basically, they're looking forward to winning that election, and they're putting all their nuts into the struggle. And also within the United Democratic Party, which is the administration in charge right now, they have a little struggle there also with leadership. There are two people who are trying to be the leader for the party. You know, once they get a majority of seats in the election, the leader of that party becomes the prime minister. So we have Mr. Faber and Mr. Saldivar who are vying for that position of being the party leader. So when those elections come around, if the UDP is successful, the new prime minister is Mr. Faber or Mr. Saldivar. In the event the People's United Party win the election, there's Mr. Briceño who is the leader.
Yeah. But now you mentioned something interesting, is that if someone in the U.S. is qualified to participate in the elections, and why will you say that? Sometimes some countries, I think the last I remember was South Africa, did organize elections yet here in the U.S. To allow the natives and the people in the diaspora to participate, to go to the consulate and vote. And the elections happenings 10,000 miles away. I mean, why not? Do you think that the consulate or the embassy in Washington will be allowing people, instead of traveling all the way to Belize, to vote right here? And
when it comes to the diaspora for Belize, your money is welcome. Whatever contribution you can give to the ruling party or to the opposition party, you can send that money and they'll accept it. But when it comes to voting, you have to be present in Belize for your vote to count, and you have to be registered months before the election. You know, months before, so you qualify. So it's a huge election, very huge, and there will be some people complaining and grumbling. We have a very active diaspora that's been grumbling. Recently, we had an ICJ vote to go to ICJ to dispute the Belize-Guatemala claim.
Wow.
And there were a lot of upset people who felt that they should be able to vote in that referendum. And boy, there's a lot of strife there. But so basically, if you don't go to Belize, you can't vote. And you know, they'll say, well, we can't monitor the election. We can't monitor the validity of the ballots. You know, so that's the main excuse, is that we can't really monitor those ballots or know what's on the upper level. You know.
Yes. Also, Carl, you have been very well in touch with the cultural activities from Belize, and especially if you remember in 2016, you were in the Washington's Post in an article talking about an exhibit that you had done at the Museum of Americas in Washington, D.C. Now, from 2016 to today, what's going on with
the exhibit, which is actually a collection of photographs of Belize independence from 1981, has been in cold storage for the last 4 years. We would love to bring that exhibit out once more for the 40th celebration. So we're looking at possibly California or Chicago as a venue for the upcoming exhibit. It should be a dandy.
Yes, but what are you going to still present all 40 or 45 pieces, or just a limited amount of
it would be nice if we can get all the pieces shown. When I was up in Washington, D.C., we were limited to about 30 pieces. The exhibit was literally edited somehow. There were certain things that the museum wasn't predisposed to show because they didn't believe in certain things. So now we want the whole exhibit to be shown, so you can see the whole event. You're not subjected to a narrow view of the independence celebration.
Yes, you did about 35,000 people almost at the last Belize Day in the parks in Chicago.
Not really. That was 35,000 people. That's maybe 15 years ago.
15 years ago,
yeah.
But I saw that the celebration was grandiose this year by the lake.
Yes. Every year, I think it's.
And you are a presenter,
I was one of the co-hosts for this year, for last year. It was a grand time. We showcased Belize music and Belize food and culture. I am expecting this coming year it'll also be great. It's like the first Sunday in August. That's the date.
This is the day you call the Belize Day.
Belize Day in the park, yeah.
Yes, Belize Day.
And we're at that park over there, Wyndham Park, or
Yes, on the
Lake at 35th
side.
and
Yes.
Lakeshore Drive.
Sure.
Yeah.
But not only basically, let's face it, you have the co-stars everywhere. I remember seeing you at the summer festival,
Yes,
Martin
yes.
Summers Festival.
Yes,
And,
you know,
you hosted or also produced a major event to commemorate or to celebrate Teen Stars.
yes, that was beautiful.
Tell us about
Mother's
that.
Day. Yeah, last Mother's Day we had a beautiful event to celebrate Mr. Winston Gillette. We call him Teen Star. This is one of our icons in the Belize community who had produced many dance parties featuring some very big bands from the Caribbean, from Belize. So we did a Mother's Day event and we toasted him, and it was well attended. It was beautiful. We had about 10 artists flying in from all over to celebrate Mr. Teen Star. So that was great.
And for the Martin Festival, what do you expect? Who do you expect from Belize?
I don't know. I try to encourage Mr. Martin to always represent Belize on the stage because it'll encourage more Belizeans to, come and support his event. We've had some people like Super G on stage before. We have Lord Rayburn. So this year we don't know who's going to come, but I certainly will try and get him to represent Belize at the festival. I was able to host this year. I'm sorry, I'm at the Jerk Festival now. He's got
Yes.
two different festivals going on. He's got the Festival of Life,
And the festival-
July 4th weekend, and then he has
The food festival.
what's the name of it?
JVC, not JVC,
It's the Jerk
Jerk,
Seafood Vegan.
Festival.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was hosting that this year, last year, and it went well. We had Busy Signal, a big star from Jamaica, at that event. It went very beautiful.
And then you expect basically some big surprises again this year for
Mr. Martin does attract the best in entertainment from Jamaica and, from the Caribbean. So he always gets big stars. We've had all the major reggae artists from Jamaica have appeared on his stage in Chicago.
Belize is basically well represented in Chicago. You're
Yes.
talking about maybe 40, 50,000 people.
I would assume there's no definitive number, but I would say about a minimum of 60,000 Belizeans reside in Chicago area. I mean, throughout the Chicagoland area.
And with Belize, with Jamaica, which is our kind of town, because we do have a club that promotes Jamaican music almost every night.
Wild
which is
Hair,
the
Wild Hair, yeah.
Yes, and this cold city is almost the hot place where we came from.
Yes.
Okay, and at the same token too, I would like to know what do you see coming up beside your exhibit is not going to be done not until next year.
Yes.
What else can we imagine or could
Well, of course,
think about entertaining for?
most of the big events are annual events. So like Martin has like 2 or 3 shows that he does every year at a certain time. So those are coming. And then traditionally in the Caribbean community, we celebrate Mother's Day, we celebrate July 4th weekend, we celebrate major holidays. The promoters, they try to make their money. So you won't see a lot of Caribbean big events happening right about now because of snow. You don't want to invest money and then people don't show up because it's snowstorm or something shows up. So, but as soon as you hit after March, April, Memorial Day weekend is when you see the Caribbean parties happening. Literally every weekend there's something going on, huge in the Caribbean community.
Unfortunately, since we are talking about Mother's Days, you know that one major personality in the Caribbean community, she's from Jamaica. She lost her mother.
Yes, Miss Diane Lopez.
Miss Diane
What's the
Lopez.
matter?
We would like to present our condolences and
To the
our
family.
sympathies to in this situation, and at the same token too, that will give an opportunity to a lot of people from the Caribbean community to go to the funeral, which happened to be
November 23rd is the funeral. I'm sorry, January 23rd.
Yes,
January
you're
23rd.
right. Yeah, January 23rd. We are not in 2019, we are in 2020 indeed. Carl, one of the things that I would like to mention, not to say that 10 years ago, the Haitian community had a huge commemorations of the first anniversary. I think you were there as a cameraman. The first anniversary of the earthquake in Haiti. We're coming back again to the earthquake, sorry. This year, the museum, the Chicago Hammock, is invited to participate at the big celebrations they are going to have in Iowa, Waterloo, Iowa, commemorating again the 10th anniversary of Haiti's earthquake, and at the same token, there will be Haitian artists coming from the Bahamas doing a presentation for the museum. I'm looking forward to go and view and be part of that commemoration. And unfortunately, you're busy. You won't be able to attend. You know, but tell us what else you think will be cooking for this year.
Well, I would imagine anything outdoors. You know, like the festival's outdoors, and we like outdoor stuff. Barbecuing, hanging out with the big stars from the Caribbean. That's why Martin is such a big favorite, because his festival, which attracts a lot of people, he has these restaurants would set up their booths and sell, you know, the Caribbean food. So outdoor stuff. Caribbean people do love outdoor events, and we have huge events outdoors. Even the Puerto Ricans do have a big event.
The largest Puerto Rican festival in North America happens to be in Chicago.
In Chicago, yeah.
Not in New York, not in Miami, but right here in Chicago. We are well known for that. And
Yes.
I remember also, as well as you said, when 35,000 people hanged out for the Belize Day in the park
Yes.
in the south side, which was a very big event. The Haitians, unfortunately, don't bring too many people at the 4th of July festival in Evanston, but
They don't?
I
don't
mean,
think so?
About 1,000 people. It's not.
That's a lot of people.
Yes, but not like a hot Belizean party in the park and by the sea.
I would say any Caribbean event that is staged outdoors, you can bet your lucky dollar that 25% of those attending are Belizeans. Belizeans do participate in those outdoor events.
Yes, yes. But participate or not, I mean, this year especially, you had a wonderful Caribbean festival, in the park. That was a wonderful.
Well, what's been hurting the Belizeans so far, a lot of our artists can't get visas to come and visit the United States. This has been just terrible, because a lot of major Punta Rock artists from Belize can't share the music like they used to in Chicago.
But you can afford to have almost a great number of artists coming from LA or from New York to participate.
Yes,
at
but the
festival.
premier artists, the ones we want to see, are from Belize, like Super G, for instance. And a lot of those artists have a hard time getting visas to come to the United States.
We could have possibly tried to accuse that of anything else, but when we know that not only the Belizean artists are having issues, European artists are having problems as well, regardless if they are from France or from the Middle East or other part of the world.
As an
they have
advocate,
issues.
As an advocate for diversity and for sharing the culture and the music, I think we should be a little lax. A little, we should not be that stringent on artists who what they're doing is sharing their creativity and their genius. I think somehow we should be a little more forgiving. If they were caught with marijuana smoking or something, we should give these people the opportunity to share their music. And for us who reside in the United States to listen to their music in the United States.
But beside the Caribbean, let's say that in 2018 you and Dr. Anna Castillo from the Afro Cultural Associations here in Chicago, you presented in Washington, D.C. again on the mall a major exhibit about the black leaders of the Americas. Could you still, we never had a chance to ask you about this show, but could you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, it's been a while, at least 2 years. That was a very, very historic show because for the first time we were presenting black leaders from all the way from South America up to North America. A lot of us thought President Obama was the first black president in the Americas, and Dr. Anna, through her research, showed that we have black presidents and vice presidents throughout the Caribbean,
kings and emperors
throughout South America, Central America, even some we thought were white are actually black, and so it was eye-opening. And that event which was held at the Marcus Garvey
Museum,
gallery at the OAS,
yes.
the Organization of American States. It was well attended, and there were some beautiful speeches given by Dr. Anna herself and the director, the Deputy General, Mr. Mendez.
Yes.
Yeah, they gave some beautiful.
Not to say that Chicago has been producing some major shows all over North America. Those two shows in Washington at the mall were very successful and very eye-opening. As a matter of fact, if I do remember, you were saying that 34 countries among the 35 countries representing the OAS voted to have that exhibit. That was a major coup. I mean, I know that the show and a limited viewing was presented at the Columbia College. Do you know if that show will be available again in Chicago?
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. I haven't spoken to the doctor for a while. But it certainly was an eye-opener, and it's educational. It's because a lot of the history, a lot of black history has literally been buried. Even in modern times, just last year we had a major museum, was it Brazil?
Yes.
Just burnt to the ground. And all these antiquities from Africa, from South America, just lost for generations. Just recently, President Trump talked about bombing Iraq and getting rid of antiquities from Persia. It was a huge outcry. My goodness, you're destroying stuff that relates to humanity. And so in the same genre, that museum in Brazil that had all that black history is gone.
One thing that I learned is that in Haiti, after the earthquake, the Smithsonian did send a team of experts to try to rebuild a church that has some of the biggest fresques in Haiti.
Yes, yes.
And I think regardless if you are president or emperor or what, we should stay away from touching.
Yes.
We may have disagreement, we may fight,
Yes.
in different, but leave the 52 sites alone completely. Leave the 52.
Anything historical, it's not really owned by that particular tribe or country or region. It's for all humanity. And so basically we need to respect those things.
Mr. Villanueva, it was a pleasure to have you here. Thank you very much for the day.
My pleasure.
Let's wish the entire community a great and wonderful 2020. And, let's bring some hot stuff on the cold Chicago that we have right now. Thank you very much.